Hi, I'm Leo. Can you imagine that student who have take the homework at 2 p.m. at night and even have to show up on time on the next day morning at the classroom to do some reading and writing? Can you imagine that a student who have to continue the math classes at 10 p.m. at night after a whole day of exam? Do not be scared. That's just a normal day of my high school life in China. And I believe this is also many K-12 year students are facing in their daily life. So what is the reason that caused this situation? The reason is lack of sleep. To be honest, I think that lack of sleep is not a minor problem that we can ignore, because lack of sleep will cause many serious problems, such as make people feel anxiety, anxious, and nervous. So today, I'm here to give you a speech about that. I'm convinced you school should start time late and students should have more sleep time. So in my speech, I will mainly talk about three dimensions. The first is about the problems, the second is about the causes, and third is about the solutions. So now let's start by talking about the problems. I will start talking about the problems from two dimensions too. The first is about academic issues, and second is about mental health issues. Just imagine if you cannot sleep well at night, what will cause you at the class? Obviously, you cannot focus well, which will also make your grades, your exam poor. And more seriously, that will also affect your attendance rate. And the worst is that even it will cause some bad effect to your graduation. Second, let's move on to the mental health issues. From the article of the Los Angeles Times published in 2010, August 23, the author mentions that because of some student lack of sleep, they will cause some serious problems, for example, sleep deprivation, depression, and gain weight. The more scary is that if students cannot have good enough sleep, they will even get into more car accidents because they cannot drive focusedly, or they will be disturbed by other things when they're driving. And I think that is really harmful for students. Therefore, we should avoid these problems effect on students, and we should make sure that they have enough sleep time. After talking about the problems, let's move on to the causes of this article says. We can mainly blame for two causes. The first is the school system, and second, we should blame for the biology. First, for the school system. In the article of the LA Times, there is a group of sleep advocacy called National Sleep Foundation. They mentioned that some schools start at 7:30 a.m. 80% of the kids will feel uncomfortable. And because they don't have good sleep, those kids will have some serious impacts. For example, they cannot have good mental health, and they have bad mood in that day. Another thing we can blame for the school system is that the schedule. Because school and parents, they hardly change their schedule for the kids. For example, the bus schedule, the school bus schedule, and the schedule for the after-class activity that parents sign up for their kids. Next, we should blame for the biology. To be honest, students are not intentionally show up late or show up poor attendance at school. This is because a thing called melatonin. During the time of the adolescence time, melatonin will be released later at the evening. This will cause students hardly to sleep too early. And we can see a phenomenon is that the alarm clock is telling that students should get up, but their body are screaming and still sleeping. So this biological effect shows that students should have enough sleep, and some bad effects affect them at night. After talking about the causes, let's move on to the After talking about the causes, Now I will switch to the solutions. So I will mainly categorize my solution at 3 parts. The first is that what can California state government can do. Second is that what can K-12 year student can do. And finally is that what can parents like we can do. The first is that what can California state government can do. In the same article of the LA Times, some recent study shows that some schools changed their start time from 8 to 8:30. Their students reduce their depression and they get better moods. Obviously, the California state government can imitate them, and even they can do some legislation and fine to make sure that students have better sleep and have enough sleep time. Second, what can K-12 years student can do? The first thing I think is really important, which is take away your electronic device before sleep. This is because information from your friends and the social media will disturb you and make you really complex before sleep. Therefore, put them away and your brains will relax quickly, and this will help you sleep quickly. Second, the important thing is do not drink or drink less coffee, because caffeine is also a thing that will affect your sleep. So just make sure that if you want to drink, just drink it earlier. And we can also do something like take a warm bath or read a book before sleep. All these action can help students have a better sleep. So finally is that what parents and we can do. I think the most easy one is just to make sure you have the same schedule at weekends as you do on the weekdays. So this will not break your biological time schedule, the biological clock. All in all, today in my speech, I'm mainly pursuing that school should start time late and make sure that students have enough sleeping time. And I mainly focus on 3 dimensions, as you see, is about the problems, about the causes, and about the solutions. All in all, I think that we all realize that the importance of the sleep, and we should work together to make sure that every student have enough and comfortable sleep in the future and now. Thank you.